Can you, like, not look so fucking ugly all the time? Thanks. Thanks for listening, because you didn't. That was fucking sarcasm, bitch. Ugh. Hey guys, it's Alyssa. Welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna be honest, that was like really forced. I am not having the best day, okay? Like, I'm gonna be honest. First, I had to wake up and go to work, and that just is never a good day in general. I am negative, y'all. I'm putting this on record. If I ever say y'all again, I'm literally jumping off of a bridge. I looked in the mirror and I just wasn't pleased. And like my hair, it just like wasn't, I'm not having it. I'm not feeling it. Like, ew, oh God. I looked in the screen and I am triggered. Honestly, summer sausages, those trigger me. Those trigger me a lot. If you clicked on this video, you're probably being like, can you get to the point now? Because like, I want to know what it's like to have a tonsillectomy. So bitch, I'm gonna get into it, okay? Like, hold your horses, calm the fuck down. First, I'm just gonna do 30 seconds of a little shameless self-promo, alright? I just uploaded some of my original music from when I was in high school onto my YouTube channel right here, and also I created a SoundCloud account for it. All of the links to that are gonna be in the description box below. So let's get into it. I am almost 3 weeks post-op for my tonsillectomy. The main reason I needed a tonsillectomy all was because I would get constant throat infections, and ever since I was a little kid, like, my immune system was really bad and I would always be getting sick, like literally 2 times a month. No, stop it. I would get throat infections all the time, and as of last fall, they increasingly got worse and worse and worse. And my throat hurt all the time. I had to work full time, so it was so painful to talk. My tonsils would get so inflamed that they would be touching each other and like suffocating my uvula. Yeah, it looked like a man with like an enlarged and like it was eating his dick. Yeah, that's what my throat looked like, so you're welcome for that imagery. Ew, I don't know if I'm gonna keep that in there. That was kind of nasty. I saw a lot of doctors and I would go to urgent cares all the time, depending on where I was living. This past year, I moved a shit ton, so I was at a bunch of different doctors, and all of the doctors, anytime I would go in with like this insane throat infection, they would be like, oh my God, you need to see an ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor, because those are huge. They're like causing your immune system damage. Like, I would recommend getting those out, getting them completely removed. And I was like, oh, I agree. I used to get strep all the time. This past fall, I was treated for strep 3 times when I only had 1 positive strep test. The other ones were negative, but then later on we found out that I was getting severe tonsil stones, which, if you don't know what they are, you don't have to know what they are. They're fucking disgusting. I was so embarrassed because they make your breath smell bad and they make your throat hurt, and if anyone looks at your throat, they probably think that you have an STD because, not gonna lie, I honestly thought I had gonorrhea in my throat. So fast forward to around the end of May, beginning of June this year, I went then again to see a doctor, and immediately when I opened my mouth, she was like, oh my God, those are the biggest tonsils I've ever seen in my life. How are you even breathing? These were my tonsils when there wasn't even an active infection, and they were still taking up the majority of my throat. You could tell that they were like impeding my airway. It was getting hard to breathe. It was so hard to talk. My voice was like super raspy, and I was in a lot of pain. And it was horrible. So finally, she referred me to an awesome ENT at one of the hospitals just a town over from me, and they got me in within 2 weeks when I called. Right as the surgeon came in when I went to that appointment, he immediately looked at my tonsils, heard my health history, looked at my charts and all my visits. He also saw how many times I had been treated with antibiotics and was like, yeah, if you keep this up, if you ever really need antibiotics for something else, you're probably going to be immune to them, so I would definitely recommend getting your tonsils removed. Of course, then he proceeded to say he was happy to do it if it really would just give me a better quality of life, because he believed, you know, I would stop getting sick all the time, I would stop having throat infections and pain. But he did warn me about the risks of the surgery. Now, getting a tonsillectomy is very low risk. They've been doing this surgery for a really long time. They have found out now that it isn't quite as necessary as they once thought it was. A lot of tonsillectomies were done in the 50s and 60s, and since then the rate of tonsillectomies has actually dropped because they do find for some people getting your tonsils out could be harmful, especially to children, because they are a part of your immune system, so they can help you. But of course, if they're acting against you, as mine were, then a lot of doctors will recommend taking them out just for a better quality of life and better health overall. The risks include bleeding during surgery. Most doctors aren't worried about that because they have the cautery tools right there. Bleeding after surgery, which is extremely rare. I saw a few statistics, but it's in between 1 and 5% of people experience any type of bleeding after surgery, and that can range from a little bit of bleeding to a pretty severe hemorrhage, which you'll still probably be fine, but you would just still have to go to the hospital and most likely get a surgery after that. I have severe anxiety, so even though those statistics are very low, I was still pretty nervous to get this surgery done. But I just want you guys to know, like, if you're getting this surgery, don't let those statistics scare you if you really need the surgery, especially if your family and your doctors are urging you to get this surgery. I really would recommend just going for it and expressing your concerns to the doctors. So tell them that you're having a lot of anxiety about it. Tell them that you're worried about the risks, and they'll really break it down for you. Of course, going under general anesthesia has its own risks anytime. However, a tonsillectomy is a very quick procedure. Depending on how they do it, it can be anywhere between like 15 to 30 minutes under, and that's about it. Like, there are rarely complications during surgery, so really you don't have to worry about that. This was my first time ever under general anesthesia, and I did get a few comments on my tonsillectomy video that I wanted to talk about that were asking kind of about surgery, how it was for me, what they kind of did, how they prepped it, and how you prep yourself for surgery. So I do just want to talk about that for a minute. When you're getting surgery, what they'll have you do is a few weeks prior, probably a nurse practitioner will call you. You'll set up the dates and everything. That's another time you can express your concerns. Don't be worried to tell anyone about your concerns. You have a great healthcare team when you're going to have surgery, so it's probably going to be anywhere from like 5 to 15, 20 people that are on your case. So you can tell as many people as you want just for that reassurance, and that's what I did. The hospital I went to has this like online program that's called like an Emmy program, and it has like videos you can watch that show you how to prep for surgery. 2 weeks before surgery, they want you to stop taking any blood thinners like aspirin. They don't want you taking ibuprofen. If you need something for pain, Tylenol is fine. If you are prescribed other medications for pain like opioids or anything, you should just let them know. That shouldn't be a problem. They just really want you to stay away from blood thinners. They don't want you drinking 24 hours prior to surgery just because of the blood thinning aspect. They definitely want you to smoke. Conspiracy theory, they actually do want you to smoke so that you can get a disease, and then they have to get a lot of money from you, and then they win. But just to be extra cautious, they do tell you to stop a few weeks before, but you know, to each their own. You can decide what you want to do because it's your health. The night before surgery, they made me wash my body with a HIPAA-cleansed soap. That's just basically a soap that's like super strong and gets all the bacteria off of you. After midnight, they don't want any more food or water in your stomach because that can increase the risk of like asphyxiation when you're intubated, when like the tube is in your throat for surgery. Again, that's a very rare complication. Nowadays, there aren't very many complications during surgeries anymore. These are just like, even if like 0.01% of people have this complication, they have to put it down. So if you have bad anxiety about it, really don't waste your time worrying about it. Try to just focus on your breathing and how much better you're going to feel after you get the surgery done. I apologize for people who are triggered by that because frankly, I'm kind of triggered by that statement because you can't control what you worry about. So I'm really sorry if you're having anxiety about this. Like, just DM me. I'll send you nudes. In the morning, you want to clean your body with the HIPAA again, and you also don't want to put any makeup on, no moisturizer, sunscreen, no deodorant. Like, literally don't prep yourself at all. If you smell bad, it's okay. The doctors are used to it. You'll be fine. This is my first time ever going under general anesthesia. I was very anxious. Don't worry, you guys are not the only ones. I watched a million videos on this to try and calm myself, and it didn't help at all. I was so scared something was going to go wrong under general anesthesia. So, like I said, express your concerns to the healthcare providers. The whole time waiting for surgery to happen, I was actually crying pretty hard. I was really nervous. When they're prepping you, they're just going to give you an IV. IVs don't bother me anymore. I used to be terrified of needles, so if you are, I would just suggest doing whatever comforts you while they do it. It literally takes like 2 seconds, so it won't be an issue. They don't hydrate you too much in the beginning because for tonsillectomies, since they're such a short procedure, in most hospitals they actually don't put a catheter in like through your urethra or anything, so luckily you won't have to deal with that most likely, but they don't want to hydrate you through the IV too much because then you're going to have to pee during the surgery, and that probably wouldn't be that great. They'll give you a little bit of fluids. It'll be dripping really slow. They'll just monitor your heart rate, do vitals just like a checkup, and then about 2 minutes before I went into surgery, I was still very anxious, and they gave me extra Versed, which is this medication that's a benzodiazepam, and it basically calms your amygdala and kind of starts shutting that part of your brain down, so it takes the nerves off, and then they gave me an extra thing of it to completely take the nerves off. It's also what is known as the forget medicine for surgeries and such. They combine General with this medication Versed and some other types of benzos. Sometimes hospitals use different ones. And you know, my anesthesiologist and anesthetist, they were very, very nice, very understanding, super cool when I was like, no dude, I need another syringe of that, like I'm freaking the fuck out right now, and he was like, I got you, and he just put another one in, and immediately I was just like, whoa, like that shit hit me like a brick, dude. I was high as shit, and I didn't care at that point. I had a huge fear about anesthesia awareness. Since I had never been under before, I was like, no, I'm not gonna go to sleep. Like, how is this shit gonna knock me out? I'm gonna be awake the whole time. They're not gonna know. It's gonna be a horrible experience. I'm gonna be even more traumatized. But let me just say, when they gave me that Versed, I was like, fuck, I'm good. A lot of people don't remember being wheeled into the OR at all. I do remember actually getting it wheeled into the OR. They made me move over to the like other table. I was super like, whoa. They were like adding a bunch of little sticky things all around me, and basically those are just things to monitor your heart. Also in pre-op, they put little things around your calves that squeeze your legs while you're in surgery just to prevent blood clots, but they just do it as like a precaution. And so they'll hook those little pads up to like these air pumps, and like then they'll start working, and so like the air will start like pumping, and what it does is it like squeezes your legs just to make sure that circulation keeps flowing down there. The nurse saw my tattoo, and like all the surgeons were like, that's dope. Like they put that mask over me, and I remember it being there for like a good amount of time, but at this point I wasn't freaking out. I was really at peace. It was good, and it was totally fine. I just fell asleep, and then I woke up in post-op, and my mom was there. I woke up, I was moving pretty well. You know, they help you like move your body to like get the anesthesia to wear off a little quicker. They're gonna give you a popsicle and a lot of water, and I'm gonna say like at first your throat really doesn't hurt that much. It's like the days afterwards when you start to feel the pain, because then that's when you're not on the hospital meds anymore. You're on like the stuff that they prescribed you. They prescribed me oxycodone, both in a liquid form and a pill form. I took the liquid form for, I'm gonna say, about 5 to 7 days, and then after that I could start swallowing pills again. The thing is, your throat is just gonna feel really sore and scratchy, and like swallowing anything hard or like bulky really doesn't feel that great. So if you can get the liquid, I would recommend doing that. Now, some adults do have extreme pain for tonsillectomies. I was actually lucky and I didn't feel excruciating pain, so I really hope that you guys don't experience it. The only uncomfort that I really had was that when your body is healing your tonsil removal, depending on how they do it, I can only talk for mine. He used the cautery tool where like it burns it out, like it cauterizes it as they take it out. He didn't cut it out like the old-fashioned way. So when it's healing, your body will produce a lot of mucus, and this is kind of natural. It's to prevent infection. That was really thick and disgusting, and it made it like impossible for me to talk and kind of difficult for me to breathe. Like my pulse ox was at 99. I was breathing enough and having enough oxygen, but it just made it uncomfortable to breathe. And then at around day 2 and 3, my nose got extremely stuffy, and I thought I got a cold on top of this, so I was like, great. But it was actually, I read, and it's kind of common for your nose to be stuffed up. We called the doctor, and he said it is very common, so just take some Tylenol and some like anti-inflammatory. And my recovery was pretty good. The only thing I'm going to say is that between days 1 and 5, that mucus was terrible, but it starts to break itself up. And then you start to kind of like cough up and start feeling all the scabs coming off, and that's just gross, which that's the only reason that was uncomfortable for me. And then another thing is that basically between days 1, honestly until now, I can tell that my energy is low. That's due to general anesthesia. It takes like a good amount of time for it all to get out of your body and out of your system. So I haven't been the greatest with energy wise. I started being able to eat regular food around day 13, 14, had my appointment, then they cleared me, said everything looked great, and then I really started eating solid food because I was trying to be careful before the 2 weeks. And I started exercising, going back to the gym at day 15, and I'm on day 18. I've been working out, trying to just move my body more, build my muscle back. Overall, the experience was not too horrible. I can already tell my throat is going to be so much better now. The only thing is, not being able to eat killed me. I'm such a foodie, but it did get me back on track with my healthier eating habits. I actually lost over 10 pounds in the first 5 days because of how I literally couldn't eat anything. The main tips that I'm just going to give you guys is to drink as much water as possible. If you can't eat, that's fine as long as you're just pounding water. I saw a lot of videos where people said they could only drink a glass of water a day. I could drink a good amount of water, close to probably the 8 cups you need, but it took me forever to drink it. You can't gulp. You have to like take really tiny sips. A lot of people recommend not using straws, just like when you get your wisdom teeth, because that can increase your risk of bleeding, not by a huge deal, but I chose not to use straws. So just pace yourself. Make sure you take, like, I would recommend 2 weeks off of work. Even if you want to go back at 1 week, you're not going to feel back to 100%. So yeah, just good luck. Pace yourself. Don't be too worried. If you are, please comment below and I will try to ease you of your anxiety because, guys, I know how it is. I know how much that can make someone suffer. So really just try to relax. If you guys made it this far along into my video, thank you. I just spit out a lot of information to you. If you guys want to get a chance to win a bunch of free beauty stuff that I'm giving away, I'm going to link that video down below. So if you guys would like to be a part of that giveaway, there's only 4 steps you need to do. It's going to be in that video linked in the description box below. It'll be the first thing linked in there. Go check out that video. You have 1 to 2 more weeks to do everything to be a part of the video, and it's going to be random selection. So get on it. Win some free shit. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It was a bad day, but after filming this, I feel like I helped some of you. If you're worried about your tonsillectomy, you got this, boo, okay? I feel like this was very informational. And also, I'm sorry if I talked too much, but I love you guys and appreciate you, and thank you so much for watching my channel. Bye!